Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brock Venzel, and I have a tiny admission to make to you. In an Undergrad swap-up, this is actually the second to most recent version of our PowerPoint, so if I skip something, I promise I'm not cheating you. It just got edited out in the final copy. But anyways, moving forward, a short agenda of what we're going to take you through. We'll begin with our problem statement, move on to our objective. We'll then go over our short-term strategies for freeing up cash and our long-term strategies for reducing inventory in the supply chain, along with our recommendations. So our problem statement, as you've heard so far, is that Acme is currently overinvested in inventory and has limited cash. They've run out the line of credit that they have, and they're desperately scrambling to try to find some more money. There's another issue that's really highlighted in here is that each one of these branches seems to be operating very independently with one another. So you're seeing a lot of redundant stock and a lot of redundant processes that are resulting in extra cost from inventory investment and then consequently from carrying costs. So we're going to address both of those. Our objective is to reduce the unnecessary cash invested in inventory. We want to make a short-term reduction on inventory in hand and then a long-term reduction of the required amount of inventory in the supply chain overall. And one of the main themes that you're going to see is standardization and centralization of these processes to try to cut down on necessary inventory. So the short-term requirements, the first thing we want to do is liquidate a lot of the plate remnants. At the exclusion of the larger pieces that are going to be easy to reuse, a lot of these are sitting on hand and we're paying to hold on to them. Our option for getting rid of them is to actually sell them back to the mills. As price and scrap prices are going up, these mills can melt these pieces down and reuse them to generate new plate. And we can also, the nice part is we have a built-in transportation mechanism, is we can utilize the backhaul from the transportation of the plate coming in that we purchased. So we have that set up for us. So here's kind of the diagram of how things go right now. It's from the mill to us, and then we have an empty truck back, but now we can use those rounds to send those back and try to free up a little cash flow that way. The second place that we're going to actually liquidate some of our inventory is from this heavily reserved inventory. As the group previously stated, we have written down pretty much the value of this inventory, but we are still paying to hold it. So we want to go through and conduct an analysis of what SKUs are expected to sell over what time frame and over the next 6 months, or what's expected to sell over the next 6 months, and then liquidate the remaining amount of that. And as I said, it accounts for about 20% of our reserves. So we estimated that we can liquidate about 50% of our plate remnants as well as about 50% of that other material. We can actually, at about 70 cents on the dollar, we don't expect to make back full value on this, but again, right now, our goal is to free up some cash as well as to quit paying a lot of these inventory or the carrying costs. We can free up about $7 million in cash reserves as well as decrease the overall inventory and holding costs. We've already gone through that.
All right, I'm Sharon, and going over long term, as you said, as Brock said before, the branches are kind of in a silo mentality right now where they are more self-interested in what their profits are rather than the whole of the company. And right here we decided that we want centralized decision making. We want to be able to standardize reports, KPIs, just all sorts of metrics across the board, which will kind of set a better foothold on just getting a better future, pretty much. And we also thought of volume discounts of common items, because if we have one centralized plant doing this, then we can just bulk buy and have discounts on that and then allocate it to whatever branches need. We also thought of just better management of purchasing, which is standard pricing, because thinking of individual branches and mills, there must be different prices between each one. So just having that purchasing department figure out a standard pricing across the board. And this would also eliminate duplicate inventory. As I said before, it's pretty much getting a purchasing department in there to head everything on. And main goal is to communicate objectives and goals and make sure everyone's on the right page. As I said, standard reporting and make sure that everything gets reported to this central area. And probably in the future move towards an ERP system, which provides better communication and better visibility. And just going back overall what we've said before is decreasing inventory levels will free up cash flow in the short term, and even with our backhaul and deadhead transportation going on, that is another thing that the branch offers to marketing strategy, sustainability, being green because of the recycling of products and goods. and then also what I said before, standardization through centralization. Is there any questions?